Hi, I'm Rob Boyd, an English photographer from the UK. I decided to create this podcast series talking to international photographers whose work I truly love. I realised I knew nothing about these amazing people apart from their names and their stunning work. So I created a set of hopefully entertaining questions that finds out who they are and what they love. Hi Seb, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you being here, my friend.
Hey Rob, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Amazing. So if you can start by your name and your Instagram name, that'd be brilliant.
Sure. So my name is Sebastien Jean, and my Instagram is snapped by Seb. So snapped.by.seb.
Excellent. And do you have a website?
I do, but it needs a little refresh. This is Sebastien-Jean.fr.
Perfect. Excellent. Brilliant. And where do you live?
I live in Amsterdam.
And where are you from originally?
I am from Beauvais, which is a little city close to Paris, about 80 kilometers from Paris in France.
Brilliant stuff. And if I visited you, where would you take me to shoot?
So if you come to Amsterdam, I think there's different places I will take you depending on the time of the day. I think we can start in the morning around the Waterloo Plain Market. It's quite nice. A lot of interesting characters, a lot of people there. So it's a good way to start. And then we could go toward the Jordan, to the canals, the typical Amsterdam building, streets. You can get quite a good things around there. And then we can also head to east or the northern part of the town, which is a bit more gritty and you have a bit more character, which I prefer in Amsterdam in general. But I think what you will really love is during the night going to the red light district, not only for the girls, but also mainly for the neon lights. I know you like neon lights. And yeah, in the Zidike area, which we consider as a Chinatown here, you have a lot of Chinese restaurant and this kind of vibe, with neons and a bit of grits as well. So you will really enjoy it.
Yeah, sounds perfect, especially with the neons. I must admit, I've got a bit of an addiction. Okay, so it's a bit of a redundant question. I was going to say, is there anything for tourists? But, it sounds like you've listed most things already.
Yeah. Yeah, the red light district, of course. For the coffee shops. I think it's a good... Amsterdam is quite touristic anyway, like even around the city center. And it's a small city, so yeah, it's quite full of tourists in general everywhere. So
it definitely seems a popular destination, And excellent. So where's your favorite destination in the world? Where do you like to go?
I would say Japan and Tokyo, particularly for a lot of reasons. For the landscape, the food, the culture, people, and photography, obviously. So much to photograph there during the night, during the day, at any type of weather. I think it's paradise. I really enjoy New York City as well, obviously. It's an easy one, but I think Tokyo is the one.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great. And so where would you most like to visit in the world?
I would love to go back to India. I have been there before, but not as a photographer. It would be amazing to go back with my camera and to shoot around there. Also, I would really love to go to Africa. I've never been to Africa so far, and same. I think so much to explore, so much to photograph as well. And also Taiwan. Taiwan is a special one as well. So yeah, a lot of places to visit.
Yeah, and absolutely. I'm sure that's the thing with like India and, there's so much going on, I'm sure. It's like a overload for your senses.
Yeah, it's crazy. I loved my travel there, but going back for photography, I think so much to do indeed.
Great answer. So if you could time travel, where and when would you visit? I know it's a weird question.
I always dreamt about having a time machine, so time travel would be amazing. But I think I would go around the 70s or 80s, and I would start with Hong Kong to see these real old school neon signs, and have this kind of vibe. I don't know if you know Greg Girard. Is a Canadian photographer, and he photographed Hong Kong in the 70s and 80s, and I'm a big fan of his work. I get a lot of nostalgia when I look at these pictures, and I'm very inspired by it. So I would love to see that from my own eyes and be able to shoot it. And then after Hong Kong, I would go to Japan, obviously, for the same reason. And then I would go to New York City. Different reasons, but I mean, New York in the 70s and 80s, wow, must have been so cool, especially to shoot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect choices. I totally get that. Good stuff. So, if you could photograph anyone in history, who would you shoot?
Well, if I time travel and I'm in the 70s, around that time, I would go photograph John Lennon. Pun not
Yeah,
intended.
yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. No,
didn't
fair
mean
enough.
that.
No. That's totally get that.
I would photograph John Lennon. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was 80s as well, wasn't it, when he was shot? So it was kind of,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
go
just a
just
little
before.
before. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so tell me a fun fact about yourself or story.
Yeah, sure. So, well, I have a full-time job, but next to that full-time job, I'm a dog sitter or pet sitter. So I welcome dogs at my place. And the fun fact is I get to travel as well for that. So, for example, when I go to New York City or anywhere around the world, uh, I get free accommodation in exchange of looking at people's pets, for example. So that's why I kind of get to travel quite a lot because I save money on accommodation and I hang out with cool dogs in great apartments. And then I'm going to walk the dogs, for example, and shoot around with the dogs.
That's clever. No, that's very clever. That's a really clever way of traveling, and obviously saving a fortune.
Yeah, yeah, and you make connections as well. And yeah, I mean, I love dogs, I love cats as well. So an amazing experience.
Excellent. No, that's amazing. Love that. Good. Weird random question. What's your favorite word?
I would say the French version of the F word.
Okay, and remind me what that is. Okay. Because it's an international podcast, teach me a new word or a saying I may not know, apart from that one.
Yeah, it's a tough question. I'm sure you know a lot of words, but one funny thing is that in France, when you feel great or you feel awesome, you say "j'ai la pêche," "j'ai la patate." But if you translate that to English, it means like, "Hey, I have the peach, I have the potato." So just came to my mind recently that doesn't make sense at all in English. So yeah, so if someone in France asking how are you doing, Rob, say, "Hey, j'ai la pêche," and that means you have the peach.
There's a Turkish one called bomba gibium, and it's like, oh, what does that mean? It's like I'm like a bomb. I'm I'm full of energy. I'm just ready to explode.
Bomba Gibium. I love this podcast. I mean, we're learning so much right now, words. So let me write it down.
Bomba gibium. So, when did photography click for you? Obviously, excuse the pun, but what moment did you realize you could take a good photo?
I think a few years back, I just only recently got a proper camera to do photos, like about 2 years and a half ago. And before that, like most of us, I was doing photos with my phone, right? And I had this phone with, don't remember which, yeah, it was a Huawei, I think, with Leica lenses. Apparently, I mean, at least they had the Leica stickers on there. But this phone was doing quite good pictures with a lot of characters. And since I used to travel a lot, even before, like calling myself a photographer, then I remember like traveling and taking just random pictures, random travel pictures, so of my family and everything. And that's the first time I realized that, yeah, I had some really good quality photos, and I started to download like Snapseed, like some sort of version of like Lightroom, and started to edit and play with editing and everything. And I think that was the first time that was like, oh, great! Like, so with a good camera and a bit of skills, I can do something quite interesting or something that I like.
Yeah, yeah, and you do it well. I mean, your stuff blows me away. I mean, it's yeah, yeah. Everybody will see it anyway. When it goes in front of their eyes, it's just yeah.
It's very
So
kind,
talk
Rob.
it.
Thank you.
No, not a problem. So talking of your photos, obviously, what's your favorite three? I know it's hard to narrow down to three. And why do you like them?
Sure. So the first one was taken in Hong Kong last year, and it was taken with a prism glass. So that's the one with a. So you have a Chinese man standing at a traffic light, and you have this restaurant neon light on the background. And so I applied the prism glass on the camera, which creates some sort of reflection. And I really like this one because of how it looks and the result. And it's also something quite hard to get as candid moments, right? Because I mean, I had only 1 minute to shoot it, and I was really happy by the result and the fact that the reflection was working well around this person, and he was still kind of sharp also in the photo. So I think that's definitely my favorite shot. And the second one would be one of the first shot that I've done when I got my camera, like just a few months after I got my camera. It was in Paris, and you have this butcher. So you have different layers, and you have a butcher on the back and a woman passing by, and he creates these layers of people with one of the butcher staring at me. And yeah, it was the very first photo where I was like, this is cool, and that I could never reproduce, like, I mean, I've been to that place many times again in Paris, and I never was able to do something like that. And yeah, the third one would be in Tokyo this year, which is just a guy eating a ramen, and his face is covered by a curtain, like those typical restaurant in Japan. And yeah, just I like it. I like the texture, I like the light, and I like the movement. And it's really typical of a scene that you will see in Japan or in Tokyo.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, you don't see many with prisms. I've got one. I have it somewhere. I have no idea where. And it's one of those things you use for like 10 minutes and then you kind of go, nah, it's weight in my bag. I'm going to stick it somewhere else.
Yeah, and like for that first shot that I was talking about, I think to make that pictures, maybe add like, I don't know, 100 pictures of that same scene. I'm like bursting mode and trying to turn it around with my head to have the right reflection and the right, with Fuji, the autofocus is like trying to focus on the glass and on the person. So it's like bouncing. So out of 50 or 65, there's one that was working well, and that's the one. So yeah, but keep doing it, Rob. I want to see more prism since I know you love neon. So do it.
I'll definitely give it a go. I'm gonna have to dust it off and find it somewhere. But yeah, no, that sounds like a good challenge to me.
Yeah, let's do it when you come to Amsterdam in the red light district. That's a good challenge to
There
do.
you go. Absolutely. Good stuff. So, what advice would you give to a new photographer?
Yeah, just go out and have fun. Just practice. Do your own thing. Yeah, just don't worry too much about the numbers. If you're on Instagram, let's say, don't get discouraged by that. Or it's good to be influenced by what you see on Instagram. Obviously, we all do. But if you find that there's something else that you like and that's a bit outside of that, just do it. And I would say to leverage all the content that you have in YouTube, like to learn about camera settings, about techniques, about editings. I mean, there's so much content out there to help you start to even when you want to start to learn a new skill. And and just connect with your local community or international community, rather like on Instagram or other platforms. I think it's good to speak with people, to connect, go on photo walk, just to see that we all share the same insecurities in the end. In Instagram, we always see the final result, right? The final photos and maybe the likes associated and all the numbers around. But when you hang out with all photographers, you realize that we are all the same. I mean, we're all different, but we kind of like relate at a lot of levels.
Yeah, and we all take 50 shit shots to get that one decent one.
Yeah? Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, good advice. Excellent. So finally, so what's next? What's your photography goals?
Well, just connecting more with the community. Recently, with two other people, I started to do some exhibitions to invite like up and coming photographers or established photographers. So I think it's really fun to be involved in the community, exactly in the same way that you're doing with this podcast. This is brilliant, just to to have this conversation and to connect. So I think I want to do that more, and just keep on traveling. Maybe going to India or Africa, as I mentioned before, and try different things, experimenting a lot. I think, and a lot of carpe diem. Just like go with the flow wherever this takes me.
Yeah, I'm so glad we managed to make this happen. It was, it's been taking a while, but it's great to finally talk to you.
I'm so grateful, Rob. Thank you so much, and thanks for all your support since day one. Yeah, really means a lot, and it's great to finally connect with you and chat over this great podcast. Really good stuff.
Oh, thanks. And it has been years as well, way before I did street. I mean, it's. I think I had accounts before that have been hacked and God knows what else. So yeah, well done.
I remember the hacking. Unfortunately, we still need to find that person. We will find that person, Rob.
To be fair, they did me a favor. I don't think I'd have moved on otherwise. That's the difference.
Blessing in disguise, huh? As we say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, brilliant. Well, thanks for being my guest. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks a lot, Rob.